traveled many moonless nights, cold and weary, with a babe inside, and I wonder what I've done. Holy Father, you have come and chosen me now to carry your Son. I am waiting in a silent prayer. I am frightened by the load I bear, in a world as cold as stone. Must I walk this path alone? Be with me now. Be with me now. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Do you wonder as you watch my face if a wiser one should have had my place? But I offer all I am for the mercy of your plan. Oh, help me be strong. Help me be. Help me. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven. Breath of
Thank you. That was beautiful. Good old Amy Grant. Remember Amy Grant? I was reminiscing back when I worked at Musicland in the 90s at the Southwest Plaza. Oh yeah, people, you might have saw me in the food court on the lunch hour. I sold a lot of Amy Grant albums, that's my point. Yes, albums. Okay, this is not part of our topic today, but I actually worked at the music store when CDs first came out. I had to try to educate people, they're like, wait, what? And then we'd play Frisbee with them after the store closed and see if they'd still work, and they did. Yeah. So they're very durable, and here come the albums back. Oh, what I wouldn't do to have those albums back. They're worth money now. Okay, back to Advent we go. Advent traditionally has been the season of remembering, expecting and waiting for the coming of Christ into the world. But it's really important, I think, especially as we're living through these times today and recognizing the importance of history, right? To look at this story, the birth story of Jesus, through the lens sort of religious or historical amnesia, really loses its meaning. And so the miracle that came through the life and the message of Jesus of Nazareth occurred, at least in part, as a glimmer of hope in the midst of great darkness, great turmoil. And I hope that you can sense how that can lend to us today. That there was great violence in a Roman-occupied world that was expanding itself through violence and conquering, causing chaos and fear and destruction. And in the midst of the Roman push toward racial and cultural dominance along the way, came the answer to a prayer, the long-awaited Messiah of the Jewish people, long believed in and hoped for, to free them from the threat of slavery and oppression once and for all. We remind ourselves each Christmas that Jesus was not a Christian. He was a Jew, and he was called to bring, I believe, the message of God into the world for all people. And he taught and cared for and ministered to anyone who would listen, including Gentiles, including Romans, and most especially to his Jewish family and friends. So you could say that the Jewish people were suffering a dark night of the soul, and their long-held faith and belief and hope in this potential Messiah was more vibrant than ever. You ever notice when you're in the darkness how the tiniest bit of light illumines your path in a way that when you're out and about and the light is fine, you don't notice? When the world gets harder and scarier and more chaotic, it can feel harder to find hope, yes? And all the more important. So this sets the stage for this extraordinary birth story, which remains at the center of this holiday season all these years later. And to be fair, historians have pretty much said Jesus was probably born in April, but that's fine. Because if we place the story in this dark time, it just illuminates it all the more. So, okay, we'll let that slide. And so it was into this time of darkness, of chaos, of fear, of violence, that in this person of Jesus of Nazareth, God, love, was experienced in the flesh, living, loving, teaching, working right beside and among the people. Up until then, it had been this relationship of this sort of warring sometimes present, sometimes happy, sometimes not. God in the sky. Now there is a person teaching and embodying this profound love and compassion and wisdom. And the ultimate message was, this resides in you too, right? What became a whole movement to worship Jesus began as an invitation to follow him. Follow, and by him, he's demonstrating what's possible when we live from that awareness. But really, his message is follow that within you. Follow that Christ nature. You call it whatever you want, Buddha nature, divine light, divine love. Quit looking for it out here. And when we begin to find it in here and cultivate it in here and believe in it in here, it has an applicable impact on our life. We're not pleading and wishing and hoping. Not that those are bad, we may still do those. But we're actually living from a conviction that, wait a minute, I have a direct connection. You too are the light of the world. But what's crucial? What's the primary response we must have to that if that's to become anything worthwhile to us? We have to what? Believe it. That's the first element here of hope and faith. I think that hope sort of drives us to it if we're willing. Oftentimes it's after we've looked everywhere else. Oh, wait a minute. Wherever you go, there you are. I wonder, as I was preparing for I know it's a song. I wonder, as I wonder. I could have sang it, but I'm not going to. As I was preparing this, I thought, if they hadn't been in such despair, would they have longed for and looked for him? And even more crucially, without that longing, would he have come? Could he have? And I just sort of got chills. Could he have? And so as we navigate, which is no doubt a collective dark night of the soul, let's not pretend that it's not. As we hold out hope for the light of the world, to recognize that it is within humanity, that is what I believe many of us are saying. What in the actual? I know we are better than this. I know we can do better together. And that is the rub that will perhaps be the critical friction point that makes us finally all, each and every one, start acting like it in each and every way and showing up and saying, no, everyone belongs. There's no one left out of this circle and this story of light and love. Because if anyone is, then we all are. And it's unfortunate that our human nature is such that it has to get pretty darn close to us sometimes for us to say, okay, I'll step in. But I think any one of us could imagine what's happening in our country or in our world being us or our children or our parents. So it's not enough just to hold it in our mind. It's time to reflect that light in every way that we can. This reading that I shared with you goes on to say faith in particular plays an active role during Advent. Without it, we may lack the courage to embark on the journey of inner transformation that the season invites. Here we can take a literal page from the story of Jesus' birth. There is nothing in the narrative that suggests ease or certainty. Every character in the story steps into the unknown. And what we do not know or understand, we often fear. And yet, whether it's an angel's message or the light of a star guiding the way, faith is the thread that holds the story together. Faith is the impulse to trust what we cannot see, what we do not yet understand, but somehow know is calling us forward. It invites us to be more than witnesses. It calls us to be conduits for the light of the world. So there is this one light, right? In Unity we teach there is this one source of life. Call it whatever you want. And it is imbued in all of creation, in all of our people, in all of our animals, in our wilderness, in our earth itself. And it is expressing through all of it. How marvelous it will be when we let it fully express beyond the limits of our human constructs. She concludes by saying, we matter. The light we bring into the world, expressed in the way each of us is uniquely designed to do, matters. This Advent season, may we resist the temptation to shrink in the shadow of fear. And instead, let us follow the courage of Mary, Joseph, and the shepherds, who each responded to Spirit's call. Let us step forward in faith, trusting that the light we offer is exactly what the world needs right now. And so you may not be, on the front of a protest line or anything like that, but in every interaction you have, it's an invitation to shine your light and to receive the light in another. Sometimes we're better equipped to do that than others, some days. The scripture that is often called upon for faith is from Hebrews 11:1. Now keep in mind, again, what I just told you. This dark, difficult, challenging, chaotic time was upon the Jewish people. But in Hebrews 11:1, we hear, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So it's easy to have faith when things are easy, isn't it? That's a shallow faith. If we can't hold on to it when we're nearly drowning, we've got to have a really good lifeboat. That should be our faith. In Unity, we understand faith to be our innate divine power of perception, conviction, and expectancy. What are we putting our faith in is what we can expect to experience more of. It's really that simple and yet challenging. It's very easy to get caught in the wave of utter fear, and then you're just sort of rendered nearly useless. I don't know about you, I either freeze or flee. If you catch me, then I'll fight. We don't want any of those. And Linda Martella-Whitsett defines faith simply as our power to make what's possible real. To make what's possible real. So what do we have to first do? Expand what we think is possible. And what do we often do when we're faced with, we don't know what to do? What's our number one thing we tend to do? What did I used to do? Well, I've always done it this way. When things are calling us to expand into something new, we have to expand what we think is possible. And then believe we have the power to make it happen. I think this is the powerful message in the teachings of Jesus. You too will do these things and even greater if you believe. Not in me. I know I can do it. I've shown you all. But believe that you can do it.
That's right.
So I'm not sure, I don't believe that his true message and purpose has even yet been fully realized. And the calling is, and of course now, unfortunately, there's been such, you know what that means? Such a negative shroud around Christianity in many ways, because it seems to be hypocritical. It seems to be judgmental, when its teaching is the exact opposite. It's inclusive, it's loving, it's compassionate. Not that we all are going to agree, but can we come together and agree that we're all in this together? And the most profound teaching I've ever heard in unity was the second coming of Christ will come through each one of us. It will come when we have the faith and conviction to live as if we are, in fact, as divine as we are human. We continue to still have that backwards and get limited in our beliefs and in our fears and in our habits and all the stuff that we've been conditioned around. And that is what is breaking up, and it feels uncomfortable because I don't know about you, but I start to realize how much of my own identity has been caught up in all of this. And I thought I was somewhat enlightened. Don't call me a Buddha, but, you know, it's like you don't know the water you're swimming in. And it's hard to wake up to. And yet, it's super freeing. What? And necessary. Thank you. And necessary, yes. It can be so uncomfortable that you just say, oh, you know what? Someone else can do that. Nope. No one can do that but you, for you. And then you can contribute to the whole from a whole different vantage point. So if we are to hear this message and to live into it, you are the place right here, right now. There's nothing you have to do any different, where the divine dwells and seeks to know itself through and as you. How does that change your perspective of this season and of the purpose of your whole life here? Expands it beyond the beautiful things that we do in terms of family and careers. All of that's wonderful, but there's a greater purpose behind all of that. And I think for most of us, at some point in our life, we come to realize, what is this all about? Because it is hard and ridiculous. Tell me there's something bigger coming through this. Yeah, so it requires that we first of all believe that that is so. Begin to believe that in ourselves. I've been thinking about ways that I could involve more of you from the community in my service. And as I thought of this idea of, first of all, believing in ourselves, and then also having faith in not only the power of divine love and life, but that it actually is within us. We can connect with it, be guided by it, and express it. I thought of someone in our congregation that I asked to come up. She's not a fan of the bright lights in the big city, the big stage, I should say. But Marietta Brown, who has been here just a smidge longer than I have, agreed to come up. And I asked, I'll say this, Marietta, I didn't tell you this when I asked you. Uh-oh. come on up. It's still safe. I realized I didn't do an opening prayer, did I? Okay, we'll do that later. Would you want to do that? I'm just kidding. I skipped the opening prayer. I got so excited about the Bodhi tree. One of the reasons when I was thinking of that we have to believe in ourselves, I feel like you have believed in me long before I have, because she's been here just a couple of years short of me.
Before your hair was gray.
Long before my hair was gray. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a few of you who took the new member class and saw that picture, and they were like, who is that? Oh, it's Trish, yeah. Yeah, so about 23 years we decided, yeah. So thank you for that. That's not really what I wanted you to talk about, but I remembered that I've always been really thankful, because as I've stumbled and grown and stumbled, you've just continued to believe in me and have faith in me. And I also think that your own personal faith has been inspirational to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, you're welcome.
Well, you know I'm a cradle Catholic.
Yeah, is that not working? Let me see. Oh, you got a red light. Red light's never good. Unless you need to stop at one. There you go.
You know I'm a cradle Catholic.
A cradle Catholic?
Yeah.
From the cradle?
From the
yes.
cradle. And so my path was designated from that moment. And I was taught by nuns and priests through elementary, high school, college. And then I taught in a Catholic school for 30 years. And yet here I am.
Jill, you got to get that ready. Yeah. And I think, yeah, that is exactly the faith story that has impressed me, because from my understanding, it was like your faith kind of outgrew some of the limitations of your upbringing, but it was still, I won't speak for that. You speak for that.
You go right ahead. But no, the path was clear in my thinking. I was on a path that was comfortable, and my faith was firm. And then life happened, and the chaos and the darkness somehow shine there was a different, the path opened up a little for me because it had to. And I started listening and learning a more comfortable way for me to relate to this supreme being, this higher power, because I wasn't in a comfortable place, but I was never off the path. I just stayed on the path, and it took its own way, and I followed along. And then I came to believe that I could find a way that really worked for me to relate to the divine. I never doubted that, never, ever. Mm-hmm. And it was a big leap to step outside of 50, 60 years of that path. But I had been acquainted with unity in a very informal way. So I thought, I think I like that daily word. I really like that. So, I think I'll step out there and step in here. And I was walking home and realized I had a smile on my face. And that didn't usually happen after service. So it was a clue. I was feeling uplifted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I asked you, just in closing, when I asked you to do this, you recognized that when your mother passed, too, it's sort of, that was kind of the freeing, I think perhaps you were doing that in part for and with her.
Yeah.
And that's some of that traditional stuff that we often do. Yeah.
My mother was living with us, and so culturally as well as in religion, I'm Italian, so we're very Catholic. And so Mom was living with us, and of course I would take her to Mass every week. But along the way, here I am kind of easing my way to the other way, learning, reading, listening. So I think I'll tell this. I'm going to tell it. So one day after Mom had been gone a while and I was at church by myself, we stood up to say the creed. And I realized I didn't believe all that. So that was like a big leap of faith. But I do want to say, I'm grateful for the foundation and the thirst that I got from my upbringing in that faith. So,
And that's what I think I have seen in you all along. You know, like I understand. I felt like there was a little bit of probably almost grief in that you gave a lot of time and energy and love to that, and somehow you'd had to leave that, but that your thirst was, you were committed to having that quenched. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
and here I am.
Here you are. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, I think that's another myth that the faith journey is this way, you know, and if it doesn't work for you this way, too bad for you. It's kind of more like, right? I mean, it follows you through life, and that is how life is. Life gets messy. One of the things I didn't mention, but I've known you through some health challenges, through the loss of your husband, through a major, selling your house, and you have continued to stay open to this is part of my life, and doing it with grace. And I think that your solid foundation, as you said, no doubt has helped you in that. So thank you for sharing with us. Well, as I do every Advent, I have to mention my favorite Unity writer, Reverend Eric Butterworth. He has this wonderful quote about the supreme adventure, he calls it. Advent refers to a coming into view of something, usually referring to the coming of Christ, traditionally into the mass of humanity, Christmas. In other words, it's getting prepared for a personal experience of the Christ. In a metaphysical sense, it can mean to all of us an expectation of and a preparation for the coming into our consciousness of our own divine potential, our own divine or Christ self. The word Advent has also given birth to another interesting word, adventure, with the connotation of dare or risk. It feels like a dare to believe in that side of you, beyond the material, beyond the limitations, beyond your height and weight and role and all of that stuff, that you are an expression of divine love and light right here, right now. If this season is to mean anything more than an annual holiday charade, which becomes a pressure-packed and conformity-ridden Christmas celebration, we must take the risk of personal commitment to the discovery of a divine level within our own being. It is this that we refer to as the great adventure of a lifetime. And if we should really keep Christmas, it calls for a commitment to let something be born in us. Something happen through us, something expressed of the greater depth within us. And so that really is the call for this time as we make our way toward Christmas, to begin to cultivate and call forward that within us that comes from a great depth, from a great love, from a great light. And so I'll invite us now into a time of meditation to connect with that. Just invite you to put your feet solidly on the ground, your back against the chair, feeling supported. Take a deep breath. I'll ring the singing bowl that just invites us to drop from our head to our hearts, where this story really comes to life. So let your breath begin to relax your body, calling you inward. Taking the deepest breath perhaps you've taken all day. Bringing your full awareness to this time and space. Making and taking a first step toward this inner depth, which our breath is the first invitation. When we take a breath, we begin to connect with that presence within us that sees but is not the thoughts or the feelings or the experience, that witness within. These winter months give us the rest and stillness that we need in order to repair and prepare. Whether we are in the winter of earth or in a seeming winter of the heart, or even through an aging process we call the winter of life, there is a deep soul preparation at work. And just like the land needs care after a harvest, so it is for your heart and your soul. So the invitation for this season is to keep enough space, enough time to connect with that. Looking inward for the inner light, for the restoration of your heavy heart or your weary soul, and for the hope that there is always a dawn. The sun never forsakes us, nor does that light of spirit burning within. And so let yourself hear these words and let them radiate through you. I am the light of the world. I have within me that very same divine capacity, that consciousness that Jesus so fully expressed. I am, you are one with the source of all life, all light, all possibility. There is nothing you cannot do if you only believe. And when your light feels to be dimming, there are others around you. We come together to shine our lights more brightly, to relight each other, if you will. So reach out and know too that you may be a light in someone's world, on someone's path. Never underestimate the power of one light to illuminate the darkness. So take a moment in the silence to center yourself, to anchor yourself in how it is that you will move forward in this season, cultivating your own inner light. And make it your intention. Put it at the top of your Christmas list. Be committed to it. Live from a conviction that it is so. And so it becomes. May each one of us feel a renewed sense of hope and a renewed call to the depth of our faith in a higher purpose and in a higher power working in and through and as each one of us right here, right now. And so it is.
World waits for a miracle, heart longs for a bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. Child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing glory to the light of the world? Glory to the light of the world is here. The drought breaks with the tears of a mother. Baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Oh, here is the song for the suffering. Here is the hope, the love and peace has come. It has come, Emmanuel. Oh, glory to the light of the world. waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh, come, Emmanuel.